Hello everybody, welcome to the Centbee show. I'm your host Lorien Gamaroff and my co-host is Kage, Ntshingila. Welcome to the show.
So much, G.
Here we are sitting, talking Bitcoin and Centbee as always.
Politics aside, we're just focusing on the tech, and there's quite a lot that's going on in that space because Centbee is growing. We see users are starting to catch the vibe, starting to, ignite their phones.
Yes.
They all of a sudden getting their mobiles on fire with our mobile money app.
Yeah.
So for me, that's the focus, and that's where we should be, putting our energies on instead of stuff that doesn't really contribute to a layman in the street.
Yes, exactly. We, of course, we do believe in Bitcoin, Satoshi's vision, and so we want to make that vision alive. We want to make it a reality. If you just have Bitcoin and there's no applications and there's no one using it, then what value does it have?
No point,
So that's our job, is to see if we can test Satoshi's vision and see if it really does make a big difference. And of course our whole focus has always been on spending, not about savings or investments or speculating or charts or.
Because remember, our blueprint is the white paper, and we follow that. We abide by that by all means.
Digital cash. And what do you do with cash?
You shop.
You shop.
You pay.
You pay.
You send it to people.
Right.
So it has to be part of our everyday lives in a sense.
Yes.
It shouldn't be like some exclusive form of technology that a certain group of people can only access. But
absolutely.
This is about everyone.
Yes.
And BSV has, the proof is in the pudding. I mean,
yes.
You can literally shop on Centbee.
Yes, with Centbee, exactly. Yeah. And I think we should keep telling our viewers and the people out there how much you can do on Centbee, where you can shop around the world.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got over 100 countries, thousands of products.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter where you are. We do have some countries that are more well supported than others.
Yes.
But that's our ongoing mission, is to make everything you want in your country available to be bought with Bitcoin SV.
Yes, and especially things that you couldn't easily access if you didn't have a credit card, So BSV has become that bridge for people to at least start purchasing or getting access to the stuff they never had access to before,
Without a credit card.
Without a credit card, without hefty charges,
right.
Just directly getting what you want, as simple as just, buying it with your mobile app, like Centbee.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's our goal. We want to create an experience and an app for what we think of as a good market for an app like this, that youthful market.
Yeah.
It's 15, 16 year olds to 25, 26, the sort of student demographic.
All the way up,
They want to make payments for things. They want to buy things. They want to top up their phone with data. They want to get Netflix. They want to get Uber.
Yeah.
They want to shop online, buy clothes.
Yeah.
And Centbee caters to that, where you now don't need to have a debit card from a bank. Mm-hmm. You can have digital cash in your wallet.
Yeah, and what I appreciate about that is also the security in it, because it's not about you providing your debit card or credit card details. It's literally just about you having cash in your wallet.
Yes.
And it's quite different that if we were to compare it, we compare it to a physical wallet, and that's exactly what it is, because it is about having cash in your wallet that you can purchase or give to someone.
Yes, pay someone.
Yeah, pay someone as easy as that,
Yeah, so I think I want to encourage people who have Centbee wallet, go and check out the shop option on the main screen there, and select your country, and then just have a look to see what you can spend your BSV on.
Yeah.
You might be surprised. I mean, in the Philippines, we have quite a big market there, and there's plenty to shop there. Jollibee is a big takeaway, takeout place.
Yeah,
Shopee, online shopping.
Yeah.
So.
And there's also, Mr. G, I think we passively sometimes just mention the brands, but people don't actually realize there's quite big brands there, like Nike, Adidas.
Right.
Literally you can buy sports gear, you can
Under
buy
Armour,
Under Armour,
Gap.
Yeah, you can literally also like buy like entertainment tickets. You know, whether you want to go to a theater or
on
music concerts. Like it literally activates like your lifestyle in any country possible.
Yes, or in malls, because I remember the time I was in the Dubai Mall and went to Virgin Megastore.
Yeah.
What a great experience being able to use BSV at the Virgin Megastore in the Dubai Mall.
Yeah.
And that's not the only place, of course. I've been around the world and shopped in the same way.
Yeah.
Bought Chipotle in America.
Yeah.
So this is definitely the wave that we're entering into. I think we are doing a lot to blaze a trail in terms of making BSV a practical reality.
Yeah.
We're not trying to invent anything new. Of course, there are mobile money wallets out there.
Yeah.
We always say that we liked the idea of WeChat, you know, this chat application that you can send money, or Venmo. But then, of course, mobile money throughout Africa.
Yeah.
We just want to do that, but with that secret sauce, not so secret. We're trying to make it sure it's not a secret.
Hot sauce.
The hot sauce of BSV, digital cash, low cost, global. I'm really thinking that by the time people figure it out, everyone's going to think, wow, how did we not get this earlier? You know, when an invention comes along and you start using it and you think, how did we live without this before? Did we have...
That's BSV, yo.
That's going to be BSV.
Yeah, because if you check, I mean, the history of transactions has inevitably like been moving towards this time, you know, and we can't escape the fact that everyone, well, most people globally have mobile phones. So we need a system that is global in that sense, you know, for the remittances or just being able to send micropayments, you know, because I'm looking at the future of BSV in the digital space, like being able to pay a cent just to read an article.
Yes.
You know, and
a real microtransaction.
And that is something that it's definitely like heading to that space. Like, we can't deny the fact that BSV is like the bridge, like I'm saying, that actually connects people to the true experience of micropayments and cheaper transactions.
What you just explained there is an exact example of when we talk about new business models, because you can't do that today. You can't go onto a website and pay 1 cent to read that article. Even less than $1 might be difficult. You need to be able to have a system where you can make a 1 cent payment. And interestingly, and I've seen statistics about this, that if Facebook switched to a pay model, they could earn more money than what the advertisers are paying them right now. And when we talk about Bitcoin SV enabling new business models, when we look at the web today, you can't just go and read one article and pay 1 cent or 2 cents for that.
It doesn't make sense. With
well,
the
credit card,
exactly.
You just can't do it. They're not going to accept it. So that means that website has to have advertising. And you have to look at a banner because the advertiser, of course, is paying the website owner, like Facebook or YouTube. And that's why we get free YouTube, because advertisers are paying the platform to present ads in front of our faces. Now, if you, instead of having to look at that ad, you could pay 1 cent, most people probably would say, sure, I want to surf YouTube right now. I'm willing to pay 30 cents if I don't have to look at a single ad for the next hour. And if YouTube got that 30 cents, they would make more money than if they had thousands of impressions on those ads. So the whole advertising model can get disrupted.
That's actually quite dope, because I'm also liking the fact that it takes away the intrusive element that currently exists regarding advertising, you know. So if I can be able to pay a cent just to avoid that, I definitely will.
Exactly. And if you think about it throughout a month, if you were to pay 1 or 2 cents a day, it would come to nothing. But those platforms would still make plenty of money. So this is the amazing thing about Bitcoin. We're using it not really as a micropayment system, because when you're buying Nikes or something, obviously it's not
micro.
It's not micro, but you could do the same with a low value purchase. Or you know, we see hawkers in the streets and they're just selling a few things, matches or something. You can't pay a credit card to buy 5 rand worth of matches.
Ironically, I was having a discussion with one of the guys, I was like, because I didn't have hard cash on me, the car guards. So he was like, well, you can e-wallet it to me. But I'm like, nah, bro, like that's too much of a cost for me.
Yeah, so the e-wallet using bank systems is
Yeah.
still, you're going to pay more than the tip.
Exactly. So I'm like, okay, maybe you should try to download Centbee. And it actually hit me at that point that imagine how awesome it would be if this guy just had a QR code.
Yes.
Maybe a t-shirt with these QR code there, and then literally all you had to do is scan it and to pay him. I was like, damn, like BSV literally fits into proper real world use cases that people like exchanging cash.
Yes, when there's low values that
Yeah.
need to be exchanged. And who carries coins in their pockets these days?
Yeah.
It's just weighing you down.
Yeah.
So BSV has an incredible opportunity to really change people's lives,
Yeah.
allow people to accept micropayments for things, websites to be able to accept micropayments because,
Yeah.
of course, BSV is digital money,
Yeah.
pure internet cash.
Yeah.
So it's really going to be exciting to see how, once this all plays out, how that world is going to change,
Yeah.
the world we live in. So I'm very excited about that. And of course, more and more as merchants accept BSV, then of course it becomes ubiquitous and the world becomes a BSV world. Looking forward to that.
Definitely. Yo, guys, remember to check out this NB app on the stores. Again, man, you're missing out if you don't have it installed by now. So do yourself a favor, check it out on the stores, experience the power of BSV through Centbee, mobile money on fire. So this actually takes us into our second segment, Mr. G. We're speaking of mobile money adoption and also merchants accepting digital payments.
Yeah.
So we have El Salvador being the very first country to make Bitcoin like a legal tender.
Right.
What is that all about?
Yes. So this is something that crypto people have been dreaming of, the day when not only is Bitcoin and crypto considered legal and everyone can use it and it's fine, but when a country comes in and says, not only is it legal, but it's legal tender.
Yeah.
It's a law
Yeah.
that merchants have to accept it. You can settle your debts. So if I owe you money and I've only got BTC, I can pay you BTC and the debt's settled.
Oh, okay.
It's currency that merchants have to accept, that you can pay your debts off with. That's what happened in El Salvador in 2021.
2021, yeah.
And so obviously that created a huge amount of excitement in the crypto world.
Yeah.
But interestingly, it didn't create that much excitement from just the man in the street. And so El Salvador, over the last few years now, since 2021,
Yeah.
has now been playing out this whole experiment of not only allowing people to use BTC, although they call it Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate because they kind of had the bait and switch, right?
Yeah.
They, instead of having digital cash, they ended up with digital gold.
Yeah.
So this is now what's been playing out in El Salvador, and the government made it a law, and they said it's now legal tender, and people have to just get into it and start using it.
Sorry, Ms. G, but that's a little bit confusing because that is going to be put in place. There needs to be a clear understanding of what the law like implicates.
Yes, in other words, the consequences,
Yes.
or the thing that happens after the law is put in place.
Exactly.
Exactly. Now, at Centbee, we want a world like that.
Yeah.
We want a world where we are free to be able to offer payment services, maybe other financial services, using Bitcoin SV. And so you would think that a law like that would pave the way for companies like Centbee to now suddenly start flourishing and growing.
Yeah.
But the full implications are now what we're seeing playing out, where people now are going to be forced to accept BTC as payment. They are going to have to figure it out. And more than that, because it's BTC, it comes with all the problems that BTC have, more than just the volatility. the fact that it's high cost, you have to pay a lot of money to do that. But now what we're seeing is all that play out and seeing the problems and the pros and cons of having such a law. And so this is why it's a great experiment to see what can happen. But of course, because the government and President Bukele, he believes in Bitcoin. He believes in its promise as a payment system, because obviously if he makes it legal tender, then it must be used for payments. So he believes in Bitcoin's promise for that, but unfortunately he doesn't understand the difference between BTC and BSV.
But that's also where I'm missing like the point of understanding, because this is a president, right? And he has people who can advise him based on such technologies and applying such technologies into the law, you know. So them having to like make BTC a legal tender, for me it's completely like contrary to the country's problems, like financial problems.
The practical application of it.
You get what I'm saying? Like it doesn't make sense for them to actually like nominate BTC as the legal tender.
Yes, but what you can see now is how it's not just the average person that is confused by the mainstream crypto media, where they tout BTC as the only Bitcoin, the only worthwhile one, the only valuable one. And that is what the narrative is, the mainstream narrative is. And even a president who, as you say, could hire very expensive, very experienced and learned...
There must be advisors there.
Advisors, yes. These guys could still not see the difference between BTC as a digital gold technology.
That's crazy.
A deviation from the original Bitcoin that was developed. They don't even see it as well. So you can understand why the world is just so confused, and why when we look at Bitcoin today, anywhere in the mainstream media, they are referring to BTC, which is not a payment system.
It's not,
One of the big problems that El Salvador have had is the high cost of the transactions. Now, they obviously look at it as a great way to receive remittances, because a lot of El Salvadorians live in America, and so a massive part of their GDP is coming from remittances. And of course, accepting BTC, if you are sending large amounts of money, if you want to send a few $1,000s to El Salvador with BTC, sure, you can pay the few dollar fee. But if you want to make a payment for your groceries, and you've got to add on $10 as a fee, and of course then the problem of the time it takes to be confirmed in the number of blocks that they probably require, which could be an hour later, then you can see how El Salvador had the right intention. Their heart was in the right place, but because they didn't let things naturally play out, when they didn't say, all right, companies, entrepreneurs out there, you guys are free to go and experiment with crypto and blockchain and payments and whatever. We'll give you some guidelines. We'll give you maybe some regulations you have to follow, but go ahead. Let you guys can all figure it out. And then companies would have come along competing with each other, all competing to try and create the best product, because now El Salvador is this place that is ripe for innovation on blockchain. The government has given it its stamp of approval, and organically the world would have, well, it's the Salvadorians, in El Salvador, they would have eventually figured out, hang on, BTC isn't the thing that is going to save us. But we still have the opportunity to look at other cryptos. Wow, look at BSV. It's so low cost.
And which would have been like an organic sort of like transition. And by that, at least the government doesn't have like much responsibility, you know, to the citizens in terms of the technology itself.
Or they don't put themselves in a position where they can perhaps make a mistake.
Because they have at this point.
This is the problem with government mandating something when they haven't yet fully assessed. I mean, you can't even know what future problems might arise. So really the great thing about El Salvador now is that we're seeing how when BTC is mandated across the country to be used as legal tender.
Yeah.
So people can pay with it, they can settle debts with it.
Yeah.
That's when everybody realizes, hang on, you can't use BTC for any of these things. Now, of course, people in the BTC community are going to say, don't worry, we've got Lightning Network. And Lightning Network is a new technology that they're trying to develop that makes transactions on BTC much cheaper.
Yeah.
So they're trying to figure out a new kind of network that sits on top of BTC, and it can then theoretically reduce the cost of those transactions really low, right down, and it'll be fast. That's the hope. And yet, even in a country like El Salvador, where the government has said, look, we love Bitcoin so much, BTC, you can donate BTC to us and we'll give you a citizenship.
You see now, that already sounds like a scam. That sounds dodgy because also like to the Chivo wallet.
The Chivo wallet, which is the El Salvador BTC wallet.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, for the fact that they were sort of like campaigning it that if you download it, you get like $30.
Yes.
I already see it as a scam because if we were to talk about a system that people will naturally adopt, you don't have to entice them like that. You know, I mean, they will naturally adopt it.
You
like,
mean if they find value in it?
True value.
Yes.
Yes, you know.
Although, I mean, if you think about products, even Centbee, you know, we do want users to come on board, so we're willing to entice them.
Yeah, but the enticement here is quite different because it's real. It's not one-sided in a sense.
Yes.
Because, I mean, imagine if we like gifted people $30 worth of BSV and Centbee.
Right, we get a lot of users.
People will go crazy because it's all about also what they can get out of that $30.
Yes.
You know, I mean, they can literally...
If they get the $30, they're going to use Centbee. They're going to say, this sucks. I'm not going to use this again. I'm just here for the free money.
But that's not the case, Mr. G.
It's the case in El Salvador.
Exactly. With Centbee, it shows its true value because if you have $30, you can at least spend $29, you know, of the $30 that you freely received. So for BTC, I mean, if I had $30, how much would it cost me just to spend that?
Good point.
Yeah.
It would cost you $10 you would have 20.
You know?
Yes.
So that's why I'm saying that already is a red flag. I mean, Ms. G, we've clarified the legal tender side, but what does the law entail?
Yes, so now obviously we've talked about legal tender and you can use it for payments, you can settle debts, but one of the other things that applied to the law that was put in place was that goods need to be priced in BTC. Okay. You can pay your taxes.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And if your Bitcoin BTC grows in value, you won't be subjected to capital gains tax. Now, capital gains tax is when you own an asset, an investment or something, and then it grows in value, and now you sell it and you make money. Yeah. Well, you have to pay a tax on the difference.
That's the normal standard. Yeah.
Yes.
But with BTC, they are saying you're not paying tax, basically.
You don't have to pay tax if your BTC gains doubles in price over a month.
That sounds
or
like
whatever
a scam.
It is.
That doesn't sound real.
Well, I mean, those are again decent laws if you are thinking about a stable currency, and even BSV isn't stable in price. Yeah. It's still subject to the crypto traders and all that, and that's why we see speculation making sure that all crypto and all blockchain currencies are volatile. Yeah. So you can imagine when it comes to pricing. Yeah. We talked about taxes. Yeah. And then, of course, well, I mean, if you think about taxes, right, let's say your BTC does double in value. Yeah. You don't get the capital gains tax, but you're going to have a little bit of extra money to pay your taxes. So it sounds cool when things are going up. Sure. But what happens when things are going down? Yeah. So because of these reasons, the response really from El Salvadorians was pretty mixed. Obviously, for the people interested in crypto and excited about crypto, they're all excited about it. Yeah. They're buying burgers, they're buying lattes and posting it online. But for the vast majority of people in El Salvador, they are obviously not excited about this. Yeah. So it was a law that just came too hard, too fast.
So it was forced in a sense.
It was forced. It was mandated. It was a law.
Yeah.
So that means now people have to try and inorganically, forcefully go through that process of figuring it out, seeing how it fits into the economy, and learning how to work with it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it wasn't Bitcoin. It was BTC. And so that has brought all these troubles into it and really tainted this whole notion for the vast majority of people
I can imagine,
in El Salvador, that when they hear about Bitcoin now, they're not going to be thinking about low-cost digital cash. They're going to be thinking about a dumb law that forced them to change their lives and suddenly inflicted a whole lot of issues on them in terms of the cost of transactions, the complexity of setting things up, setting it up in your small business, trying to figure that all out. Because remember, if it's legal tender and somebody wants to pay, you by law have to accept it. Can you imagine you're a small little business and now you have to go and figure out how to set that all up and understand it. So even though I would love to see BSV accepted around the world, clearly what El Salvador has done is gone about it the whole wrong way.
That's a big mistake they made.
Big mistake, bringing BTC in. But there's a silver lining, of course, on this whole thing. Because of it, we do now get to see a country have that whole experience played out. But also,
it's a case study in a sense.
It's a perfect case study. We can see it. But now also it's laid the groundwork for other cryptos, other blockchain currencies like Bitcoin SV, companies like Centbee to now come in and start trying to get a market there of people using Bitcoin SV. And so this is why it's in some respects has been good in terms of just laying out the groundwork, the policies. It's been bad because it's really affected negatively a lot of people. So it's still playing out. I mean, Bukele, president, was elected again just recently, a few weeks ago. And it just shows the people in El Salvador still like him and like his policies, and his Bitcoin craze has been very much a part of his presidency and the way he thinks. And so people are happy with that. And we'll get to see it over the next few years. Maybe he'll come around and he'll figure out that BSV is the real Bitcoin.
I really hope so, because like you were saying, you know, he's a tech enthusiast in a sense, and him being probably, I'd say currently he's the only president who's looking into sort of like transforming the country's economy via, you know, the tech.
He's definitely the most out there and the boldest. I guess that's the word you could use.
Because I mean, looking at the economical state of Salvador, like such like measures need to be taken in terms of, you know, trying to better the people's situation. But like I'm saying, it seems like a huge mistake has been done by selecting BTC. But like going back to your point, the silver lining is that it has now started valid conversations of actually comparing what works and what doesn't work. Yeah, Ms. G. So we spoke about like the citizens and their concerns in Salvador, but we need to look at the international response. What was the response like regarding the adoption of BTC in the country?
Yes, so if we just talk about, again, just the crypto community, of course, everybody's been very excited around the world. They look at El Salvador as a model, and they all want to replicate that model around the world. But if we talk about it from an institutional point of view, and obviously the big guys would probably be the IMF, International Monetary Fund, and the World Bank. They weren't that impressed with the whole thing. They tried to get the president to stop doing that and not allow the law to pass. The IMF had all sorts of issues, financial integrity issues, consumer protection issues. They were worried about the things we'd been talking about. So normally I wouldn't vouch for, you know, the IMF pressuring countries to do certain things, but of course the IMF correctly pointed out that by forcing a law like this, there's going to be a lot of problems, which we saw.
I mean, an institution, sorry, Mr. G, to cut you there, but an institution like the IMF would actually take, you know, those pointers into regard, like we were mentioning. Like, if you were to make a decision like this as a president, there's a lot of things that you need to, you know, consider.
Exactly. So they came out, they tried to stop it. The World Bank, in the same way, they are concerned with environmental issues and other issues relating to that. and also financial integrity and transparency.
Yeah.
You know, will there be money laundering, terrorist financing?
Yeah.
Exactly. So these are the issues that came out, and these are all very valid concerns.
Yeah.
Of course, we don't ever vouch for an anonymous cryptocurrency. The Bitcoin that Satoshi Nakamoto created was transparent and pseudonymous, not anonymous, meaning you could see transactions, you could link those transactions to real people.
Yeah.
But of course, if you are looking at BTC is changing those principles around Bitcoin, trying to make it more anonymous. By introducing Lightning, you can totally make the whole system anonymous. So the World Bank in that respect has valid concerns, because BTC, what is it? It's supposed to be decentralized, uncontrollable, unconfiscatable, all those things.
Yeah.
So they have issues, and I think those issues now, again, will be played out. We're going to see how that happens. We've got our case study running now, and unless BTC can show that none of those issues are valid, when it comes to assessments and loans and things, clearly those massive organizations are going to have an impact on the policies of the country. So the President Bukele has to get around that. He's now fighting for BTC, and if he can't get through all those issues and explain them away, then he's going to have to make a tough decision about it. But of course, there's Bitcoin SV waiting in the wings, and we can clearly show how Bitcoin SV cannot be used for money laundering. It is very energy efficient, all those things. So we're hoping that that's how that turns out.
Jeez, man. Like, I really hope that people start waking up to which is the real Bitcoin, because this whole speculation culture, you know, that's connoted to Bitcoin is not what BSV was meant to be.
Yes.
You know, so
get rich quick.
Yeah, because this is like a fool's gold.
Fool's gold.
Yeah, a fool's gold ideology, you know.
Yes.
Because if you were to look at where the value lies in it, for me, like I said, it's non-existent in BTC, you know. But if we look at BSV, the proof is in the pudding. So yeah, guys, remember to check out the Centbee app on the stores. And yo, don't be fooled. There's no any other Bitcoin besides BSV, yo. So yeah, remember, if you have your Bitcoin on your BSV on an exchange, just remember to send it to your Centbee wallet. Start shopping, explore the shop there. There's a lot of brands that you can, you know, just kickstart your shopping with there and enjoy the power of BSV with Centbee, yo.
Yes, so, yeah. I want to mention your fool's gold statement there. Yeah. There's no easy way to get rich. There's no shortcut.
No, Mr. G.
You're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to do everything that it takes to get there validly. There's no shortcut to your retirement.
Yeah.
You got to go the slog.
Yeah.
So don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by fool's gold. It's something that it's going to just take you down into the gutter.
Yeah.
So leave that all behind.
You know, for me, BSV has always had one thing in mind, and that is the people. So, guys, come on now. You already know the drill by now.
You know the drill by now.
You know the drill by now. So, yeah, remember to subscribe, show some love. Check out the Centbee app on the stores, guys. Cool. All right. Yeah, Ms. G, we're going to be stepping into this week's questions and feedback from the guys on socials. Mm-hmm. Well, the first one was posted on X by Abdullahi. So he's asking that his transaction has been pending for a while. What's the issue?
Right, so that must be his money transfer transaction. Mm-hmm. So Centbee allows you to send money to your bank account or your mobile money account, or even a cash collection, an ATM, in a whole lot of countries, a lot of African countries, and Brazil and countries like that. So just go check it out. But when you do a transaction, sometimes it does get stuck at the payment processor. And the reason for that generally is because the recipient details incorrectly entered. And so the service provider can't find the correct account to pay out to. So if you do have a delayed transaction, just check your recipient details, make sure that they are valid. Then another reason could be that the service provider has had an anti-money laundering control that's been triggered. And then what happens there typically is they want a little bit more information about the sender and the receiver. So they might ask for an address, or they might ask for a full name or something like that. So when we get those notifications, we then reach out to the users, the Centbee users, and we'll try and ask for that information. But it could sometimes take a few days, and it's not something that we like. We wish we could control that.
Yeah.
But if your transaction has been pending for a few days, then please reach out to us at support@centbee.com, and then we will be able to query that transaction with the service provider to find out what the exact problem is. Our support@centbee.com email is the best place to reach us. Thank you very much for that question, Abdullahi. And please reach out to us, and we're going to try and get your transaction sorted out as quickly as possible.
Cool. Yo, thanks for that, Mr. G. Yo, Abdullahi, I mean, like we always say, we are here for you guys, so never be afraid to give us a shout every time you're experiencing issues, yeah? So yeah, guys, remember to show some love, check out the Centbee app on the stores. Our second one comes from Waj Spaj. Well, she's asking, I guess this is regarding BSV. What about small amounts like tips for people who help you informally or beggars?
We were talking about this, I think, before the show.
Exactly.
These small informal payments, maybe a street hawker,
A car guard,
somebody that you can just tip.
Yeah.
Exactly. That is exactly what BSV is meant for. These small, low-value transactions.
Yeah.
$1 here, a few cents there. Yeah. That's perfect for BSV, and Centbee works great for that sort of thing. So I hope that we can start seeing a more informal market start using apps like Centbee, even if they want to use Centbee, of course. Even though we're targeting our app at students and teenagers, anybody who wants to use Centbee to be able to make very low cost payments, low value payments, that would be perfect. So we're very excited to see the use case for informal markets.
I see it.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Watch Spudge. I mean, this is what BSV is all about, So yeah, I'm gonna be stepping into our highlights now. Yeah, we just only had 2 questions this week. So highlights were also posted on. Actually, this was on our YouTube channel. Yeah, guys, remember to subscribe, show some love, comment. You know the drill by now. Yeah. So yeah, our first highlight comes from Cassandra. And she's saying, thrilling show spotlighting Bitcoin SV's revolutionary impact on payment systems. Cool, thanks Cassandra. So our second one comes from Stacy. Stacy's saying that it's time to bid farewell to outdated credit cards and embrace the future with Bitcoin SV and mobile wallets like Centbee, offering faster transactions, lower fees, and enhanced security for financial transactions.
Exactly. Ditch your credit card. Centbee is there to replace your credit card. You don't have to worry about expensive payments. You don't have to worry about fraud. It's digital cash. So if you want to have an app that you can use to spend on all the things you love and you need without using a bank card or a credit card, then download Centbee today.
Definitely.
And experience mobile money
on fire.
On fire.
So yeah, guys, like Mr. G said, if you don't have the Centbee app now, your phone is cold, yo. So I suggest you just check it out on the stores, yeah. So we are available on the Apple Store, on the Google Play Store, and the Huawei App Gallery. So yeah, just try to check it out there, man. Start shopping with BSV, experience the power of BSV with Centbee. Mobile money on fire, yo. Ms. G, we've come to the end of our show.
Great.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Kage. Thanks for the chat. Thanks for all the feedback that we could address.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it can't be said enough. It can't be said enough.
Can't be.
Bitcoin was meant to be cash.
Yeah.
It was meant to be spent. It was meant to be for low value transactions with low fees, working around the world.
Yeah.
It would have been great if El Salvador had adopted BSV instead of BTC.
Yeah.
I think that country would have been a shining light showing us how digital cash can be used, the power of Satoshi's invention. What a sad missed opportunity, but it does in some way pave the way for a world where we can start seeing BSV adopted by merchants, and where you can pay your taxes in it. So I'm looking forward to that future. In the meantime, though, we're not going to stop. We're going to continue building Centbee out to be this global payment system that can address all your payment needs.
Definitely.
You can send money to your friends, to your family. You can send it to bank accounts around the world. You can shop for all the things you need.
Cash collections.
That is going to be our mission until the mission is over. We're going to be building out this app and making sure that you guys love it. So thank you very much for all our supporters, for the users who use Centbee, and for the people who leave feedback on our social media. Thank you for all the criticism. We like that. We like constructive criticism. So if you have ideas, things that you think Centbee could benefit from, let us know. Drop them out down there in the comment section. Mail us, reach out to us on X and Facebook. Tell us what you like about Centbee. Tell us what you don't like about it. And we are going to be here making sure that we give you the thing that you need, the thing that you want. Kage and I are here to tell you about it and keep talking about it. And so, well, I guess that's it then. Okay, well, everybody, thanks for joining us on the Centbee show. Please come back soon.